Hello everybody, I am Dax Snyder and I'm joined by LUCKYDOG1351. His channel link will be in the description. We're going to talk about libertarianism and Idiocracy. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen the movie, but for those of you who haven't, basically the future is of stupid people breeding more stupid people while intelligent people don't breed because, well, they can't afford it. So we're here to talk about the influence that the liberty movement and libertarianism and less government could have on said sad, sad future. Right?
Yes. Well, I'm not going to lead the debate, but I will definitely partake in it.
It's not really going to be a debate. It's going to be a discussion,
Oh, discussion. That's right.
unless you want it to be a debate. But
I'll play devil's advocate.
all right, so we were discussing this issue earlier, and we kind of came to the conclusion of what protects idiots, what protects people who can have multiple babies yet not have a job for taking care of said babies, and what is it?
Yeah, the federal government.
In way of paychecks. You have a baby? Oh, here's some taxpayer money so you can take care of your baby.
Yeah, and I personally don't like that at all.
Well, nobody does. Why would we want our money stolen to take care of somebody else? But get rid of the government. Either these people learn to take care of themselves or they die off.
Right.
They got no one
Which I
good.
ideally would be. Are you going to share the link to my channel?
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to either love me or hate me after I say this. I do not have a problem. Okay, let me say this first. I am against population control and killing off billions of people in the name of big government saying we need to. However, I am not opposed to people who could not live without their movie theaters and their nail salons and uh, the stereotypical city girl, city guy that doesn't know anything about survival whatsoever, or even taking care of themselves for that matter. Basic stuff like farming or anything like that. If that percentage of the population one day was left in the dark, they would either have to learn very quickly or be eliminated. And I'm not against that at all.
And that's exactly how idiocracy would be stopped, is that stupid people would die off because there's no one there to provide for them. And that's
Right.
that's part of the loophole in idiocracy itself. Would the government, well, okay, it's not a loophole considering that more people would give themselves to the government as a form to take care of them. But by the same token, you get rid of it, they either do have to wise up or they die off. As simple as that.
Exactly. Now, see, oh crap. Too bad Mike isn't here because, like I said, he argues against this a little bit, and
Well, I
I
can
don't
play
know.
devil's advocate for this.
All right.
Do you think people deserve to die? Do you think it's okay just because they're stupid, they deserve to die? And what about the mentally challenged?
You had to throw him mentally challenged at the last minute.
Uh,
Uh, okay, I'll put it this way. I don't believe mentally challenged are exactly given the choice. I believe they're introduced to the world with their own special set of skills that they can and cannot do, and that's where it ends. However, when there are people that are perfectly able to function and work and do all these other wonderful things, and they are making a conscious decision to live the lifestyle of complete ignorance is bliss, um, intentionally. You talk to some of these people who are, oh, I don't want to talk about religion or politics or anything else because I just want to live my life and blah, 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 blah. Oh, and Obama, and Ron Paul and Mitt, who gives a fuck? Politics doesn't matter. Those are the kind of people that I go, hmm, you know, do they deserve to live? Well, innately, everybody deserves the right to live. I mean, I can't tell you who and who doesn't, but I can tell you this: it really irritates me to my core that they are allowed to live this lifestyle and be encouraged to continue living this lifestyle. That I disagree with completely. I think the government, if the strings were cut and these people were told to, fuck their unemployment, we're done with your welfare, you're not going to get your social security checks anymore, we're going to stop giving you your WIC checks, and we're going to stop giving you food stamps because fuck all that. You people need jobs and you need to go make a living on your own. I mean, I don't even technically have a job. I do and I don't. I work when I'm called upon, and still, I make enough money to pay my rent, uh, to put gas in my car, to feed my dogs, to feed myself, and hell, I traveled the state the other day on a limited budget. I probably don't make more than $1,000 a month, and I still manage to be okay. Uh, and that sounds really, really piss poor, but I make it by, and I do work. I don't have food stamps. I don't have any benefits, any unemployment, none of that. I don't take advantage of the system. I've learned to do things that aren't necessarily the most comfortable, but you know what? I'm reliant on myself, not on somebody telling me, here's a handout. So again, to summarize, I'm not against those people living or think they don't have the right to live, but I think that the fact that they're being encouraged to live a comfortably stupid lifestyle by taking advantage of taxpayer money and government handouts, yeah, the people that take advantage of it so much, they well, I'll leave it at that. I don't think that's right. Period.
And to move to the private sector really quickly, how would the intelligent survive, but not the stupid? The intelligent will understand that this current society relies on a constant stream of inputs via trucking, transport of foods, and other necessities through big rigs, 18-wheelers. Now, without those, the food doesn't get to the grocery store. Now, what would happen in a society where the food didn't get to the grocery store?
Right. That's pretty simple. The people that already are on board, which I mean, there's groups out there, not name dropping anybody, but there are groups out there that are ready for that and are planning on that and expect something like that to happen due to unfortunate circumstances, and I'm not going to get into those either. But there are people out there that are planning for that. They've either got food storage, or they know how to make crops, or they're already in the process of creating crops, or they know how to hunt and forage. I think that's about all of them, right? There's nothing else I'm missing,
Well,
except, well, there are people out there that have their own like little fishing ponds and stuff like that. But anything I missed?
you could go into having some comforts like solar panels for electricity and wind farms. Or
And windmills, because you can attach those to pull your water out of a well. So there is that. But well, I live in Colorado Springs. And in Colorado Springs, now we have a lot of military bases, so there's a lot of guys that you would think would understand the idea of survival. Um, I don't know how true that is, but I do know a lot of Colorado Springs that is not military. And again, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying I don't know what is the rate of military to
civilian.
survival mentality. I wonder what that is. If you could find a way to research that, or if there's been a research done on that, that'd be kind of cool. But no, in Colorado Springs, there's a lot of city-minded people. I mean, and it's worse that there are a lot of, and this is kind of as a tangent, but it still applies. There are a lot of what you call tag chasers in this town. And basically, what that means is, unless you're in the military, most women in this town do not care to date you. They're after the money, the benefits, the contract marriage, which gives them a paycheck. Anybody who's not in that system is getting knocked up so they can live off the welfare system. It's a sad ratio of what we've got going on in the city. Now, that just sounded sexist. I mean, the men are doing the same thing. The men are taking advantage of the system. They're finding ways to get themselves fired so they can make more living off of unemployment than they would make during the minimum wage. I mean, it's both sexes. Don't get me wrong. It seems the trend of the women in here want to run away to some army husband, but that's here. But those people would have a huge problem. They're materialistic. They are focused on money. They're focused on the handouts. What would happen to those people if the truck stopped running, the grocery stores didn't get filled? And I believe a grocery store only stocks enough to hold 72 hours worth of food for a city. After that, it's done. And if they found out the truck stopped running, people would be running to those stores immediately in such a fashion that would look like a Rodney King riot. And then you have your assaults, your stabbings, your shootings, people robbing other people, breaking into their houses, stealing from your neighbors, and pretty much living in an urban area would be the worst idea because these people would turn on themselves. And because they don't know how to grow crops or hunt or fish or do any of that, they would resort to maybe you could take your average church going individual, and I know that's a stereotype, but somebody who doesn't commit crime, somebody who considers themselves an upstanding citizen, and because they have no reliance on themselves and they are asking for handouts, they go to the church to get food every week. Those people would eventually turn into criminals to keep themselves alive.
And this is exactly what we're getting at is for the liberty-minded people, the people who are self-sustaining and self-reliant, they would know ahead of time, as Ryan has spoken before, that they would go off and learn how to grow their own crops, learn how to, purify their own water, etc., etc. While the stupid people die off because, well, the stores don't have food in them, so they wouldn't understand, left from right at that point in time. And I'm not saying that all smart people, all the uh, eggheads and whatnot, even though you'd think that they could see this coming a mile away, would understand the concept of the the dollar's devaluating. Okay, let's say that. I believe it personally, but let's, for those who don't believe it, follow along. The dollar devalues, it crashes, it crumbles, it's not worth a damn thing, and trucks stop running because we can't buy oil and they don't move. Suddenly, oh yeah, and Obama's selling off the oil reserves to China. Suddenly, trucks don't come in, food doesn't come in, people start starving, people do stupid stuff. And that's the stupid people. But the free people, the liberty-minded people are off growing their own crops, making their own food, surviving, and maybe even having a little comfort in form of say of solar panels, windmills, maybe some water mills to not only survive but to be a little comfortable with electronic devices.
Now you said, and I'm just gonna, I'm not, maybe I'm playing devil's advocate for a second, but you say liberty-minded people. Now I'm gonna kind of narrow that down to the survivalist and the prepper community because if you go with the liberty population, I mean, you've got people that are, they swear by the Republican Party and they call themselves liberty minded. However, they are technically, well, blue, red, doesn't matter what color you paint it, they're both supporting the same fascist state we're heading towards. Um, I almost say you got to get away from the liberty minded. Libertarian, I think, is a better way to go, or constitutionalist or something like that. But then again, there's plenty of people out there that know the Constitution in and out, but they couldn't make their own bread to save their lives.
Oh, well, that's what I meant when I said the egghead people. They know all about societal and political and whatnot, but they couldn't grow their own food to save their lives. Now, I will admit I was wrong when I said liberty-minded. I retract that, but individual-minded, not wanting to rely on the
Okay,
system.
right. Okay, got you there.
All right, everybody.
Um,
Did you have something else to say?
well, I don't know. I'm running in circles right now.
Yeah, sorry about that. But that's all the time we have for this video. I am Dax Nylander. Thank you for coming on, Lucky Dog.
Uh huh. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Have a good day.